Hello, hello there. It's Larry Podsbinski on being off the aripiprazole for a few weeks out of my system now entirely. I guess at this point, it seems like it. But my back though is like it causes scoliosis. Right? If you're watching this series, this is not the first one you're watching. Hopefully, the one before it, before the one before this one, before the one before this one before it. But it was where the start of this got good about the getting off the Abilify that caused the scoliosis. Which my psych nurse practitioner interviewed me. We talked for an hour, and I told her the pertinent, relevant factors health wise why I did not have scoliosis when I was under the age of getting on the Abilify. It was the brand name to be aripiprazole in 2005 when I got about 4 or 5 when I got on the Abilify, but added to the risperidone for cognitive improvements, which is third generation antipsychotic added to a second generation. I find gives cognitive improvement. I'm on Vraylar now, so instead, so. That transition complete. Walking has been a real different. It's like, but it hurts. It hurts not as stabbing wise, stabbing type acute pain and walking, moving in my lower back. But it's more of a slightly duller pain, but it can go up my back. And the muscles will just keep like they're building up like they need to around the outside of my spine or on the sides of it. But then it goes up to the mid back, about the mid back points, and then the muscles all get tight, and I have to take a flexor at that point, which was about 14 hours ago now, when my aide was here this morning. And so we got things done, and we got a lot done. Let's keep her busy. She does a great job. So I'm fortunate to have such a good aide and live in Ohio, where the state of compassion of agency on aging provides me with a homemade, being elderly and disabled now. I don't like that word elderly attached, but what the hell is she going to call me? Look at me. I just look at myself on the screen, I see what the hell is he going to call me, but elderly, how did I get this way? But I got all these synthesizer toys in here, things that I like to play with, But my back, I'm in this seat today because it's the most comfortable. The chair's not hurting my back so bad as the other ones. So I was going to say, walking is more of a trip, though. Weird. Weird, unusual, uncharted territory every day. Like I said, I recognized in the last video, I said, I recognized, and it's true, there are going to be good days and there are going to be bad days with the back condition, yet, at this point anyway. And when you look at pictures of my back without a shirt on, I don't see how that can ever straighten out again. But it's not under the attack of the antagonization of the Abilify at this point. So, they'll need to go to the drug vault some morning when I'm out driving around early before the traffic gets on the road. So anyway, so that's so I took a drive today after the aide was here, and about 90 minutes later, I got together and went out the door, and it was cooler out. I had to put a jacket on, but I took the car down the back roads and around the dirt roads, loop and here and there, and around the down, and turn around and come back the same way. I didn't want to go on the main road, face traffic today. So anyway, it was a nice, pleasant drive, about 25 minutes worth. It's 20, 30 maybe, I don't know. that's what I was saying. So this is so screwed up that my back is caused by this Abilify. The amount of pain and suffering you wouldn't imagine I was in when I went to the doctors, and for 20 years, this has been going on. At first, I saw a doctor. I saw him for 20 years, I think, before he retired. But I saw him before I got on the Abilify too, and the pain problem started with the back, and he said, just take a 600 milligram ibuprofen 3 times a day and you'll be fine. So that's all you get out of him. So the next doctor who replaced him, she felt my back and examined it physically, and she said, but that's what you need Flexeril for when your back is like that, tighten up like that, spasm out or whatever she called it. So then she wasn't there long for various reasons, but someone else was there transitory after her, and I said to him, I said, look, I know you're transitory, but at least there's got to be something wrong with my back. At least diagnose it with the amount of pain I get, and there's got to be something wrong with it. So he said one thing to me that the other two physicians didn't say over like a 15-year period or 14-year period at that point, that it was back condition ailing me, getting worse, and to the point where it drove me to the searing pain with my neighbor who passed away recently. We used to go to the laundromat together in the mornings, be there at 7 o'clock when they opened, and the doors opened and nobody else was in there, so we could get done and out of there back and drag our stuff. And it killed her as much as it killed me. Drag mine, and anyways, so the pain was searing, though. I would get into bed. I didn't know before I talked to physical therapy the first time 4 years ago now, and they said don't bend forward like that. Okay, like I was doing yoga to my hands to my feet on the floor, and grabbing my feet, I should say. I was trying to anyway, like I used to when I was young, and they said you'll never be 16 again, limber like that, so don't even try. But physical therapy said that. But at that point, but bending forward was the wrong thing to do, and I learned that over the years from physical therapy that if I bend forward too long, too far, too soon, too much, too long, just a few seconds too long, and then it goes into ripping pain then on my lower back. If it's not there already, so if it's there already, I'm not likely to bend over like in the first place anyway. I mean, but. So there's a pain and suffering factor here, and there's nobody I can sue. On that drive I took today, I was going to say, I went past some property, some wilderness, wooded areas. And I said, I'd like to own about 4 acres in the middle of this place here, this part right here, and have one of those alternative houses put up on there. No, I have to find a picture and put it on the screen at the end of here or something somehow. I'm talking about a few of them. A slideshow maybe at the end if I can do that. The kind of house I'd like to have built for my pain and suffering that I live with today. The pain I'm in right now, this is the reason I'm in this chair, because the other chair, the desk chair, was crippling me in pain after just a short time. I wanted to be over there because that's one synthesizer I was wanting to work on tonight and again, and so. But so that chair was hurting me. So this was a comfortable little seat in the house. So that's where I'm sitting. But it's starting to bug my back now too. I mean, so so anyway, this condition, it keeps me homebound. It's crippling. Okay, I can't walk more than 50, 75, 100 feet at a time without stopping right there, and right there, and right where I was sitting, right where I'm at. So I can't leave the apartment complex, basically. Home. Okay. So, well, I did go to my walk out to the car and back, and I had to repark the car when I looked out. I don't know if there was a line. I wasn't between the lines the right way, but I hadn't driven in a few weeks, I guess, a couple of weeks, probably a couple of weeks. But, so how long? I can't read that. So I'll see how long that is from here over here. That's too small a bit window box on that window. So I don't see why I couldn't buy 4 acres there. For my pain and suffering, even if they didn't tell the drug companies, didn't tell the government about the scoliosis, the scoliosis, but which apparently they did because all over Google Scholar search. So that's why you can't sue them because they told the government about that. But I can't find where they actually told that. I just found medical journal papers by Wazoo when you put certain keywords in the search engine for Google search, Scholar search. That's how I found all that and sent to my doctor in an email. And she was convinced by talking to me then about my fact that I didn't have it when I was younger, because like when I was like 19 and 20, 21 or whatever in Tampa, I worked as a furniture refinisher and used to carry couches, sofas over my head, over my back, and love seats or chairs or whatever, or recliners, and put in the back of the maxi van I drove to people's homes. And so I had no problem with scoliosis then. Okay, so I had no problem with scoliosis 20 years or 30 years later, whatever, 20 years later, some years later, in my 40s, living here. I started on aripiprazole about 20 years ago, about age 46. So, so, where was I going with that? Uh, I used to walk, yeah, until I got on aripiprazole. This all changed gradually, and suddenly nobody noticed. Nobody knew to watch for it. Is the problem? People knew and they didn't tell the practitioners how to watch for this, to gauge for it happening to the person. So, uh, so what the hell was I talking about? I lost it again there. I'm in too much pain to think clearly at this point. It's a problem. So I'll just end this now on that note and tell you that I should be able to reclaim something out of my pain and suffering for this goddamn shit.